Nature is constantly changing. Winter ends with spring. Change means the birth of a new world. And today we will enter one such tiny, unseen new world. In a forest, on trees, on stones, and in rice paddies, there's a hidden force that maintains nature's balance both day and night. This is a story about insects and their millimeter-sized world, invisible to the human eye. Insects, or the millimeter world. Film 1, The Great Strategy. A summer night shines brightly. Yellow-green lights flicker on the ground. This is the only insect that produces its own light. The larva of the firefly Lyceola rufa has come out to enjoy the night air. A nocturnal creature. On a hot day, a snail hides inside its shell. It has come out for a walk to enjoy the night dew. The firefly larva begins to move quietly. Hunting it, and its target is the snail. The crawling snail leaves behind a trail of thick slime. The larva, following this slimy trail, is determined. Having chosen a target, it will never retreat. Finally, the firefly larva catches up to the snail and climbs onto its shell. It waits for its chance, then attacks with a poisonous sting. The snail struggles desperately, but alas, it is all in vain. The larva's abdomen has a suction cup. It clings firmly to the shell. Snail's foam defense fails. The firefly larva's venom quickly spreads through the snail's body. The larva is a thin, ruthless killing machine. This is truly an unexpected turn of events. Larva appears confident. After resting a bit, it skillfully begins to drag its dead prey. has an appetite, and it will suck every bit of delicacy from inside the shell. It is timid and very aggressive. Here is another insect that glows in the dark. Firefly L. rufa. Her wings have degenerated, leaving only a trace behind. When a firefly larva becomes an adult, it loses its aggression and stops being a predator. Now it can feed on dew. Unlike the female, the male has two dark brown wings. It is the male who lights up the summer night sky. While the wingless female lights up the ground. These insects find their mates by using their light. This light has brought these lovers together. The firefly's glow is not only a romantic serenade, but also a signal that a deadly larva is searching for its prey. Studying insects reveals insights into nature. For insects living near water, frogs are the most fearsome predators. They are especially dangerous to dragonflies. Frogs can lie in wait in the water when they jump in to lay their eggs. The frog approaches its target. It has spotted a pair of small emperor dragonflies laying eggs. But it seems the chances of success are slim. No luck. But that does not mean it gives up. It already sees a new target. It waits for the right moment, and then, when the insect is within reach, it pushes off with its hind legs and pounces. Amazing. In nature, the big and strong almost always hunt the small and weak. But in the world of insects, that is not always the case. It is late at night. As night falls, frogs end their hunt and rest. But tonight, one predator is stalking the frog. The frog senses danger. Finally, the hunter reveals itself. It is a beetle, Epimys nigricans, only 20 millimeters long. This ground beetle has a yellow border along the edge of its body. It is a nocturnal insect that hides under rotting leaves and stones during the day, moving only at night. It is hard to imagine, but this beetle feeds on frogs. The beetle Epimys nigricans is a hunter specializing in amphibians like frogs and toads. How does this tiny insect hunt animals much larger than itself? When the beetle bites the frog, it focuses its attack on the frog's back for several minutes. It damages the frog's nervous system and leg muscles. This hunter knows exactly where the frog's Achilles heel is. When the frog can no longer move, it quickly dies. As night falls, the frog turns from predator into prey. What features enable the ground beetle Epimys nigricans to hunt frogs? Its legs move at lightning speed. Second, its jaws are sharp as razors. These jaws are the beetle's main weapon. Deadly beetles can cut through a frog's leg muscles in one bite. After catching its prey, the beetle slices the victim's flesh into pieces it can swallow. Eats frog flesh, leaving holes in its wake. And all because catching frogs is hard work. Sometimes it may mate with another attracted by the smell of meat. Other beetles join the feast. Soon even the skeleton will disappear without a trace. Many insect secrets remain beyond human comprehension. A larva crawls out of the ground. This is the larva of the beetle Epimys nigricans seeing daylight for the first time. Insects are only 4 millimeters long, but it has the same predatory instincts as its more mature relatives. Even ground beetle larvae instinctively rush after frogs. Sometimes this insect takes on a challenge that seems beyond its abilities. It creeps up to a frog and bites its leg. Like the adults, once the larva bites its prey, it will not let go. It has sharp, hook-shaped jaws. This is truly the child of a fearsome beetle. The larva bites into the frog's leg or chest and feeds on its bodily fluids. Before it becomes a beetle, it must go through 3 molts. And then it will once again hunt amphibians many times larger than itself. Despite their tiny size, insects must never be underestimated. Spring is a beautiful season when nature awakens in full color. But it is also the time when the struggle for survival in the insect world becomes even more intense. Short legs and a long body. Black-made beetles emerge from the ground in spring. In the past, they were commonly seen in rice paddies and fields, but now they are found only in truly pristine environments. Despite their fearsome appearance, the adults are herbivores and feed only on plants. This is the Asian blister beetle, Pseudoepicauda rufula. With the start of mating season, the male blister beetle follows the black-made beetle female everywhere. Because he has a vital goal. After a struggle, the blister beetle bites the back of the black-made beetle. The black-made beetle releases cantharidin when attacked. This is a poisonous chemical. But the blister beetle fights so hard for it because he desperately needs it. He uses it to attract a female. For other insects, cantharidin is poison, but for blister beetles, it is a survival tool. The smaller of the two insects is the male black-made beetle. They have curved antennae. These antennae are essential for mating. Courting is complex. By enticing the female with his antennae, and with her consent, he will mate with her. When their meeting ends, the female will choose a spot on the ground and start digging. This task takes 3 to 4 hours. Finally, the tunnel is ready. The female enters and lays around 5,000 eggs. In 3 weeks, larvae will hatch from the eggs. The meadows are full of flowers. Insect prime time for flowers. The Japanese thistle flower is also covered in insects. As a butterfly lands, tiny insects spring into action. These are black mate beetle larvae. They hatched and emerged just a few hours ago. Upon hatching, they instinctively climb up the stems of flowers and plants. The larvae that climbed non-flowering plants begin to gather together. Climbing flowering plants bring good luck. Now, the larvae seem to be part of the flower. All preparations are complete. The larvae wait for insects attracted to the flowers. The larvae gathered on plants without flowers respond to the buzzing of a hoverfly. They disguise themselves as flowers. Their survival depends on the insects that visit the flowers for nectar and pollen. However, larvae that attach to a longhorn beetle are unlikely to survive. They will share the beetle's fate. The insect these larvae are waiting for is, in fact, a bee. At last, the long-awaited guest arrives. It is a bumblebee. The larvae immediately latch onto the bee, as if they had been waiting just for this moment. Clinging to the fuzzy bee, the larvae dig deep into its hairs. Female black mate beetles lay thousands of eggs, because the chance that any larva will end up on a bee is very small. The bee twitches from the discomfort caused by these hitchhikers, but still continues its mission of gathering pollen and nectar. The bee has grown heavier from the black mate beetle larvae. But still flies home, unaware that it is carrying an enemy into its hive. Bumblebees build their hives in mole and rat burrows. The bumblebee successfully returns to its hive. It has changed the fate of its colony without realizing. It starts trying to shake off the unwanted guests. And now the black mate beetle larvae begin their covert operation for survival. They'll feed on bumblebee eggs and pollen. Sometimes they may get stepped on, or even eaten. But if even one larva survives, it can become a destructive force. It will even begin feeding on bumblebee larvae, and by next spring it will leave the hive and return to the outside world. About 900,000 insects live on Earth. To survive in diverse environments, they use an incredible range of strategies. This is a stone commonly found in valleys. Movement in the moss on the stone. A creature adapted to this barren environment. The caterpillar of the olive hook-tip moth. It eats moss, and when it matures, it disguises itself as the moss it feeds on to avoid predators. The common silverfish, about 10 millimeters long, hides in moss. But in the wild, there is no place that is completely safe. This creature hides in the moss and feeds on insects that come here seeking safety. It is the antlion Dendroleon jezoensis. It measures only 7 to 8 millimeters. But in this moss-covered stone, it is the top predator. The antlion is a master of camouflage. Its disguise is so perfect that it hid from entomologists for many years. This creature also looks like moss. Although this insect doesn't live where Dendroleon jezoensis does, it closely resembles it. This one has adapted to sand and hunts ants using a cone-shaped trap. The trap dubbed by this antlion is often called an ant hell. Because once an ant falls into it, escape is impossible. Like Hagenomia micans, Dendroleon jezoensis uses its surroundings to hunt. In this case, moss. It hides on moss-covered stones and grabs its passing prey. At last, a target appears. But the antlion fails to catch it. If the hunt fails, it will have to lie in wait, with jaws open for days. It hunts tiny insects living on moss-covered stones. Now it spots the caterpillar of the olive hook-tip moth. The hunt begins as the caterpillar crawls over the antlion's moss-disguised back. The antlion's main weapon is its pincer-like mandibles. It plunges them deep into its prey and feeds on its bodily fluids. It hangs upside down on the stone to fully enjoy the long-awaited meal. The antlion hides again. A new target has appeared. This time, it's the common silverfish. Despite its energetic movements, it too becomes prey for the antlion. The antlion's camouflage not only helps it hunt, but also protects it. The creature grew up safely sheltered in moss. The antlion now builds a cocoon to transform into an ant griffin, the adult form of the antlion. In 3 to 4 weeks, the antlion will emerge from the cocoon as a fully formed adult. Now, the most dangerous moment in an antlion's life is emerging from its cocoon. It is completely defenseless and must move as quickly as possible. It grips the stone with its legs and slowly spreads its wings. The transformation is complete. This is the ant griffin Dendroleon jezoensis. It must leave its moss-covered home. But if it survives, it will return again. In July, when warm winds begin to blow, the wasp Isodontia harmandi appears. This wasp lives in valleys covered in low grass. Its survival strategy is digging underground tunnels. It digs the soil with its red legs. It does this with its 2 front legs. On hot summer days, these tunnels serve a double purpose. They are nurseries for wasp larvae and storage for their food. These tunnels also attract uninvited guests who know the wasp's habits. This insect carefully watching the wasp dig is a tachinid fly. It watches the wasp's movements and even inspects the area near the tunnel. The fly is clearly up to something. It hides in the grass and continues watching. Usually, digging the tunnel takes the wasp all day. When the work is done, the wasp seals the entrance with soil. Now it goes hunting to feed its larvae. It spots its target. Isodontia harmandi often hunts grasshoppers. Its typical target is the green grasshopper. Once it chooses its target, it paralyzes it with a venomous sting, one that even amazed the famous entomologist Jean-Henri Fabre. The green grasshopper will feed the wasp larva. The wasp lays one egg in each tunnel and stores 6 or 7 grasshoppers for its voracious young. While the wasp is busy digging its tunnel, an ant appears. Smelling food, the ant brazenly tries to steal the green grasshopper. But the thief is caught, and the attempt is stopped. The tachinid fly quietly watches the unfolding drama. And as the wasp drags the grasshopper to its tunnel, the fly buzzes over and drops its larvae into the tunnel. What will happen inside now? The wasp larva feeds on the paralyzed grasshopper. The tachinid larvae begin to move. And they will eat not only the grasshopper, but also the wasp larva. In the end, only the tachinid larvae will survive. The wasp seals the tunnel entrance, unaware of the danger to its offspring. To humans, this may seem cruel. But this is the tachinid fly's survival strategy. Rain that quenches the thirst of plants is also a blessing for insects. Narrow-waisted ants gather around a droplet of water. As they drink, they often raise their abdomens. These ants are 5 millimeters long. They build their colonies among dry plants and inside trees. Along the ant trails lie scattered eggs, which the ants collect. These are the eggs of the silver-streaked butterfly, Spindices tachinones. When the eggs hatch, the ants have even more work to do. They are very interested in the caterpillars. They touch them with their antennae, and sometimes it seems they're guiding the caterpillar. Now the ants begin to bite the caterpillars. They drag the silver-streaked butterfly larvae into their nest. And many ants do this. What happens next to the caterpillars taken by the ants? In your past, a large caterpillar emerges from the entrance of the ant colony. What happened inside? It might seem like it's escaping from the ants. But this is the very same caterpillar they captured a year ago. Now, it is much larger than its captors. Ants examine the caterpillar's body. They are especially drawn to the two bumps at the tip of its tail. These bumps are covered in hairs. The ants love rubbing against this spot. Caterpillars occasionally wander, but most of their life is spent inside the tree with the ants. So how do the caterpillars survive a whole year in a tree full of ants? If you look closely, you can see the ants feeding the caterpillar. Ants feed the caterpillar. From the moment it hatched, the caterpillar has fed exclusively on food regurgitated by the ants. The silver-streaked butterfly caterpillar grew up thanks to the food provided by the ants. But why would the narrow-waisted ants feed and care for this caterpillar for a whole year? The answer lies between the two bumps at the tip of its tail. By stimulating the area between the bumps, the ants feed on the honeydew secreted from there. According to lepidopterists, the substance secreted by the caterpillar is highly addictive. A symbiosis exists between the silver-streaked butterfly and narrow-waisted ant within this tree. Over a long time, these ants evolved to care for the caterpillars, and the caterpillars evolved to be fed by the ants. Then something extraordinary happens. The ants begin biting one of their own eggs and carry it to the caterpillar. The caterpillar eats the egg. It provides the protein it needs. The caterpillar, cared for by the ants, prepares to leave its shared home. The ants will continue to protect the caterpillar even during its incredible transformation into a butterfly. And then it will leave the ants. All of this was orchestrated by the silver-streaked butterfly. It laid its eggs along the trails of the narrow-waisted ants. The first encounter between ants and caterpillars, and the ants feeding the larvae, this was all pre-planned. It may seem strange, but this is how these insects survive. In the invisible world of millimeter-sized beings, life and death coexist, with cruelty and constant motion, and the world is full of vitality. The survival strategies of insects can be astonishingly cunning and at the same time brutal. Insects are remarkable not only for their tiny size, but also for the complexity of their lives. And in this world of millimeter creatures, there is no clear line between the weak and the strong. Microcosm of a leaf. Watching the second film Insects or The Millimeter World. Somewhere in the forest, a millimeter world is hidden. The rarest creatures on Earth live here. They can be seen on the surface of tiny leaves and flowers. Insects World. This world has its own villains, and sometimes birth here is more brutal than death. There's a fierce struggle for survival. If we were the size of insects, each leaf would seem huge and mysterious, like the universe. Insects or The Millimeter World. Film 2, Microcosm of a Leaf. Follow the breeze and stream into the insect world. This insect lives on tree branches. Its long body looks like the twigs it lives on. It is a stick insect. Its body is jointed like bamboo stems. It hangs from a leaf upside down, even though it has no wings. It's about 10 centimeters long. It lives in trees and shrubs. When it sees a predator, it stretches its legs to look even more like a twig. Sometimes it plays dead and drops from the branch. Stick insects usually feed on leaves of trees like oak. Once mature, a stick insect can reproduce every 10 days. The female raises her head and lays eggs that resemble seeds. She lays them as if scattering seeds. She drops them on the forest floor. This is unusual because most other insects lay eggs in hidden places. Female stick insects can reproduce without males. An adult female spends all her time eating leaves and laying eggs. Each female lays 600 to 700 eggs. Like a farmer sowing a field, these creatures use their extreme fertility to survive. The sun sets. Day inevitably turns to night. The world changes at night. Darkness falls in the world of insects. Although night is a troubling time for many, there is a creature that eagerly awaits it. A predator thrives in darkness. A hedgehog, nocturnal by nature, has come out to search for food. A ground beetle rushes toward it and immediately flees in fear. Hedgehog keeps searching after striking out. These insects fighting over food are called Jankowski's ground beetles. They are often called the forest cleaners. Sometimes they use their pincer-like mandibles to capture prey. A beetle catches a worm, but suddenly it starts writhing as if in pain. The worm's slime has clogged the beetle's respiratory system, and now it struggles to breathe. The stick insect, constantly chewing and laying eggs, also attracts predators. Stick insect becomes beetle prey. The beetle has found shelter and enjoys a tasty dinner. but a cruel fate awaits it. A hungry hedgehog finds the shelter. Using its keen sense of smell, the hedgehog easily finds prey like the beetle, even in pitch-dark night. Having finished off the beetle and even the stick insect it left uneaten, the hedgehog resumes its night hunt. The beetle has caught a moth and is dragging it somewhere with difficulty. But danger awaits. The hedgehog must fill its stomach before dawn and make it back home. Delay means death. The forest is never safe. Predators lurk everywhere. After the hedgehog leaves, the tension eases and the forest becomes peaceful again. Morning's arrival erases the night's memories. A new day begins. Each insect lives in its own world where its life unfolds. This oak is home to the Farnesian beetles. It seems peaceful, but in fact, it is a battlefield where beetles fight over tree resin. The reason is that oak resin is vital for the beetle's survival. A greedy male beetle stretches out its front legs and swallows all the resin. Mating often occurs where resin oozes. That's because these places always attract many beetles. Here rules the Queen Metocha, surrounded by males who failed to find mate. It's a battle of the males. They fight for the right to mate with a female. They use their horns as weapons. They toss each other like wrestlers. The tree is their ring. And the male thrown from the tree to the ground loses the fight. The winner gets the female, and the loser runs away in disgrace. It seems peaceful now. Then a greedy young female decides to claim all the resin for herself. She starts pushing away the beetles feeding on the resin. Gradually, the struggle escalates into a duel between the male and the young female. It looks like the female has won, but then the male strikes back. He knocks her off the tree. Peace returns to the tree. Violence gives way to love. For the beetles, this oak is more than just a tree. Here they mate, feed, and fight to survive. Their entire lives play out on this stage. There is a creature whose whole world is made up of palm-sized leaves. This insect, the forest cricket Prosopagma lacris japonica. It's tiny. To protect itself from forest dangers, the forest cricket builds a home out of leaves. This helps it hide from predators. Having found a suitable leaf, the cricket begins to secrete a fine thread from its mouth. This thread is mostly protein, and the cricket uses it to stitch the leaf's edges together. Among all crickets, only this species in Hyponostron gelacris can produce thread. The cricket connects the front of the leaf to the back. It diligently moves its head left and right, sewing the leaf like a skilled seamstress. The cricket rests until nightfall. Finally, darkness descends on the forest. A nocturnal cricket appears. It hasn't eaten all day, so it rushes to find food. This agile creature is a true predator. It feeds on moths and even insects larger than itself. Nocturnal insects like cicadas often fall victim to the cricket. Chasing a cicada, the cricket climbs up the tree trunk. Spotting its prey, the cricket leaps forward and grabs the unlucky target. The hunt ends in success. The cricket pierces the cicada's flesh with its powerful jaws. Satisfied, even such a fierce predator hurries to build a new shelter, crawl inside, and hide from predators until the next hunt. Butterflies flew from meadows to lowlands. These butterflies are called blues, or scientifically, Celestrina ureus. They've come to the water seeking nutrients. Minerals are vital. Instinct tells them the lowlands by the water are rich in minerals. A spotted mallard breaks their peace. Frightened, the butterflies scatter. Another insect closely tied to water is the dragonfly. As a larva, it feeds on aquatic insects and tiny fish. The larva of the July darter dragonfly often preys on the Chinese medaka fish. In this underwater ecosystem, the larva is a fearsome predator. The larva waits in ambush for medaka. It waits for the perfect moment to strike. Then it grabs the fish in an instant. The larva uses its mandibles to attack. It's powerful. Fast jaws make short work of the small fish. The larva sets off in search of another meal. Another favorite prey, tadpoles. Dragonfly larva spots a tadpole. Seconds later, it grabs it with its hooked lower jaws. The tadpole thrashes wildly, but it's no use. The larva's strong mandibles dig deep into its body, destroying any chance of escape. But the story doesn't end here. A frog attacks a dragonfly. These eternal enemies will battle forever. A tiny white spider hangs upside down from flower. It's the crab spider, Thomisus labifactus. It's called a crab spider for its flattened, crab-like body. It hides under the flower and ambushes insects drawn to it, like butterflies, flies, and bees. Unlike most spiders, the crab spider doesn't spin a web. Instead, it waits for an insect to approach the flower, then uses its long front legs and venomous fangs. The spider creeps. It lunges, but the wind sways the flower and the bee escapes. The spider waits again. It's confident the scent of these wildflowers will lure more insects. These spiders really do look like crabs. Finally, the long wait pays off. That's a good one. Time for the spider to show its hunting skills. Its movement is almost invisible. It hides behind a flower and sneaks up unnoticed. It gets closer and closer to its unsuspecting prey. Even with danger so near, the butterfly seems unaware. The spider strikes. It carefully extends its fangs and sinks them into the butterfly. Though the butterfly escapes, it will die once the venom spreads. Insects inhabit every crack and corner of the world. It lives underground, an insect clearing the entrance to its burrow, the larva of a tiger beetle. It sticks its head out of the tunnel, waiting for prey to pass. A caterpillar, the tiger beetle larva, lies motionless, waiting. Then it grabs the caterpillar and drags it into its burrow. Sometimes it tosses out food it doesn't like. A foraging ant also falls into the tiger beetle larva's burrow. The larva grabs it with its pincer-like mandibles and eats it without ceremony. Tiger beetle larvae are known for their taste for ants. They eat everything edible and toss out the tough shells. Then they clean out the tunnel and wait for the next victim. This is adult tiger beetle, an extraordinarily beautiful creature. Adults retain larval predator instincts. Beneath the bright shell lies a fierce and aggressive nature, a striking display of nature's beauty. But beneath that beauty lies a whole world. A millimeter-sized world, often home to strange creatures. This one is a delightful shade of blue. It's rare and hard to spot. The Rosalia longicorn, Rosalia coelestis. It's considered the most beautiful longhorn beetle found in Korea. Not much is known about this mysterious creature. One known fact: as a larva, it lives in wood and gains its color upon emerging. There's still much to learn about this remarkable being. Climbing to the highest spot it can find, it takes flight in search of a new world. Spring. Nature awakens. Insects that slept through winter begin to stir. Even these tiny eggs come back to life. This butterfly egg survived the harsh winter months. Before our eyes, a caterpillar of the birch hair streak butterfly hatches. It instinctively climbs the tree in search of food and safety. It looked for a flower bud. Early in spring, this is the tastiest food, but the flower bud serves another purpose. It chews through the petals and hides inside. The bud protects it from cold and hungry predators. For such a small caterpillar, even a fallen leaf can be shelter. A Japanese emperor butterfly caterpillar survived the winter under fallen leaves. The warm rays of the spring sun awakened the caterpillar from a deep winter sleep. Now it must leave the shelter of the leaves and begin its life as a butterfly. Substances from young spring leaves trigger the caterpillar's instincts. It climbs the tree in search of greenery. At last, having found a leaf, the caterpillar begins to fill its empty stomach. These leaves will be its home and everything. It will not leave without undergoing transformation. Caterpillars are covered with a hard shell they must shed as they grow. This process is called molting. The caterpillar increasingly resembles its host tree with each molt. It spends almost all its time eating. Its insatiable appetite reflects the furious pace of its growth. Let go of caterpillar instincts. It turns into a chrysalis, a transitional stage between caterpillar and butterfly. Although pupation is a miraculous process, it leaves the caterpillar defenseless against predators, such as birds, risking death before transformation is complete. Two weeks after pupation, an extraordinary event takes place. The star of this stunning performance is the Japanese emperor butterfly. Now we'll leave behind the tree and the leaves that served as both shelter and food. A beautiful though familiar sight. But remembering how difficult their journey to flight was makes their beauty even more precious and rare. Not everyone transforms. Only 1% of caterpillars successfully become butterflies. The reason is that it's hard to hide from predators. A caterpillar of the morning cloak butterfly has attached to a branch and prepared to pupate. The creature inspecting the caterpillar's body is a parasitic wasp. This 3-millimeter insect lays its eggs inside hosts like caterpillars with mindless cruelty. It inserts its sharp ovipositor to place its eggs inside the caterpillar. This wasp can lay hundreds of eggs at once. The larvae will feed on the caterpillar's insides after hatching. While the parasitic wasp lays its eggs, the caterpillar makes its final preparations to become a butterfly. It turns into a chrysalis. Although its organs function normally now, soon they will stop. This cocoon, for which a butterfly is about to emerge, twitches at the slightest touch, showing signs of life. Even at this stage, the chrysalis tries to defend itself. This is the cocoon of the Japanese emperor butterfly. It thrashes violently. A beautiful butterfly emerges from this healthy cocoon. But from this other cocoon, parasitic wasps begin to emerge, resembling their mother. Dozens of wasps fly out at once. Upon emerging, they clean dirt from their wings and antennae and immediately begin mating. The parasitic wasps are now fully grown. They'll fly off to find new hosts. Left behind is an empty cocoon and the remains of a chrysalis that failed its destiny. The millimeter world is the world of insects. In this world, all processes repeat endlessly. Mating, reproduction, and a struggle for survival. Mating holds special importance for insects. Instinct drives them to pass on their genes. Only this way can they win the fierce natural battle for survival. Sometimes this instinct backfires. Caterpillars grow quickly by devouring leaves. Sometimes, due to their greed, they lose their home. What was once a green tree now stands bare. Caterpillars cover branches. These are the caterpillars of the leaf moth butterfly. They ate all the leaves of this Chinese hackberry tree. Each caterpillar species feeds on specific trees or shrubs. This helps them avoid competition. Caterpillars feed on Chinese or Japanese hackberry leaves, so they must find a new tree. The caterpillars descend head first on a silk thread. They need to find a new food source ASAP. In search of a new tree, they even dare to descend to the ground. Caterpillars crawl poorly, making their situation risky. A predator watches them closely. It's the tiger beetle we already know. It has detected the vibrations of crawling caterpillars. With powerful jaws and fast legs, this creature is a super hunter in the insect world. The tiger beetle easily grabs its chosen victim with its jaws. The caterpillar struggles vainly against the predator's speed and grip. With this masterful demonstration of hunting prowess, the tiger beetle lives up to its reputation. The caterpillars that had to descend to the ground to complete their transformation face a grim end in the beetle's jaws. This is common among insects. That's why some caterpillars resort to tricks to escape predators. This is the caterpillar of a skipper butterfly, usually found on Korean yam leaves. This plump creature builds a shelter to protect itself from natural enemies and predators. Caterpillars use mouth silk to stitch leaves together. It dreamed of safety inside its little home. And yet it was not destined to become a butterfly. Tiny insects chew through the caterpillar's body to come into the world. Wasp victimized it. The death of one creature brings life to many others. Thus, in the millimeter world, birth can be more brutal than death. This caterpillar will become an angle-wing butterfly, a Japanese mourning cloak. The spines are meant to scare off potential predators. Despite this precaution, the caterpillar could not avoid tragedy. There is an enemy its spines cannot frighten. The insect riding the caterpillar, waiting for its moment, is yet another species of parasitic wasp. Though tiny, it is deadly to the caterpillar. The wasp will lay dozens of eggs inside the caterpillar. When the larvae hatch, they will grow inside, feeding on the caterpillar's nutrients. And finally, as adults, they will exit the dead caterpillar's body. Now this caterpillar is a host. By defending itself, it also protects the wasp's eggs. It serves as an unwilling nanny to the wasp larvae living in its body. Parasites are both astonishing and terrifying creatures. Insects have developed countless strategies to survive the brutal competition of nature. Some have learned to use their environment. Cocoons and leaf-mimicking caterpillars resemble the leaves they hang from. This large cocoon of the Japanese emperor butterfly also looks like a leaf. Argus blue butterflies hide their caterpillars from predators. This creature that resembles a twig is actually a geometrid caterpillar. This tactic can fool even the most observant predators. Some butterflies look like leaves. Such camouflage might seem insufficient, but it still works. The stick insect's camouflage allows it to survive for so long. And yet predators lurk everywhere. A short-winged katydid has caught a stick insect. But the stick insect chooses an unusual course. Instead of fighting for its life, it chooses to give new life. Even in the jaws of a predator, the stick insect continues to scatter its eggs. Even in the face of death, it doesn't forget the main goal of its short life, to reproduce its kind. Stick insect eggs fall. They are covered by fallen leaves. They'll survive winter beneath this warmth, hatching in spring. Leaves, they're a microcosm where the endless drama of life unfolds. The insect world is a reflection of the universe. Here joy and sorrow, love and death coexist. This millimeter-sized world, inhabited by countless insects, reflects the beauty and cruelty of the universe we live in.